Make sure you don't miss a thing. Go to starzology.com/newsletter and sign up. Welcome to the Starzology Astrology Podcast. I am your host, Alison Price, and I'm here with my good friend and co-host, Arwynne O'Neill.
Hi, Alison. It's great to be here again.
So nice to have you once more. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about looking for love with astrology.
Yes. I feel like this is a podcast episode that everyone's been waiting for.
Absolutely, because there really are only two questions in astrology, love and money, and this is the love bit.
And they're both ruled by Venus, which is
That's true.
Appropriate.
It's so true.
Yeah.
So when we talk about love in a horoscope, we're going to be perhaps talking about when you look at your birth chart, the sort of love you're looking for.
Yeah. So this isn't about partnership. This isn't about, you matching this person, or this is my soulmate. This is about what in your chart do you want to look at to see how you are in relationships, or what you look for.
What you're looking for.
Or what makes you attractive to others, and
yes.
And what you're like in a relationship.
Yes, because we're all different, aren't we?
Oh my gosh, yeah. And it's very important to know yourself in order to be any good in any relationship.
Well, that's true, because, the thing is, it's not just, love relationships, although it very often is, but even relationships with other people. What are you looking for? What do you find attractive in others?
In any person. Yeah, for sure.
Super interesting.
I think the moon really comes in too. So, obviously, Venus and Mars are the big heavy hitters when we talk about relationships, but the moon is huge in what draws you to, not draws you, but what makes you feel comfortable with someone.
Okay.
Right?
At home.
Yeah.
All right.
And once the chips are down, or once you, really settle into a relationship and you get to know them. And as you say, you've seen someone with their bare feet. That is the moon sign.
Really is a criteria that works, right?
Yeah, for sure. Or when you've seen someone at their, when they're sick, or when they're grieving, or when they're depressed, or when they've just lost their job, or all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
They're, very real. And typically you won't know those things when you're first dating someone at all. You won't know them until you maybe move in together, or go on a road trip together, or
because this is it. When you first meet someone, you're seeing the ascendant first.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like then anyone, not just a partner.
And then we peel that off and you get to see the sun, which is now the character.
And that's how they want you to see them.
Yes. So your ascendant is the personality. The sun's the character. Then we get to the moon, which is the behavior. Mm-hmm. And what do they say? Not what you say, it's what you do.
Right.
And that's your behavior.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that's interesting that we're looking at the moon first for these relationships. But I do think it's important.
Yeah.
Even though, as we say, we'll get to Venus and Mars in a moment.
Yeah. But if you don't have that good moon connection, like if your moon really conflicts with their moon, you may have all of these other things that attract you and that are compatible and maybe similar interests. Mm-hmm. But then when it really comes to how does this person make you feel comfortable, make you feel safe? That's a big millennial and Gen Z buzzword, safe, And
what would you say would be a conflict? Let's just be clearer on that. We're talking about the squares here, or the oppositions?
Yeah, like if your moon is square their moon, or if you
we're talking about moon. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, or if your moon is in something that they have nothing in.
Yes.
Something like where they just don't understand you, maybe. Yes. Where your emotional...
You can't be at home there.
Yeah, your emotional reactions are just foreign to them. And when you, fly into a rage, or when you're crying, they just don't comprehend what is happening.
It's so
or
true.
Vice versa. Their emotions could come out of left field for you, and you're like, why are they always so angry about this? Or why does this make them sad? I don't understand.
I do think it's important. So what we're saying is that you want your potential partner to have at least some planets or points in the same sign as your moon is.
Yeah. Or making some kind of harmonious or even stimulating relationship to that moon, depending on, obviously all of these things are very much, we're not going to make any blanket statements like if their Saturn is square your moon, no. Well, because my partner's Saturn is square something. My Saturn is conjunct his moon, and we have all kinds of really interesting
long-term relationship, right?
Long-term relationship, and it was long-term, like instantly, like within weeks, we were just like
joined at the hip,
and it was that stability of like, and that might not be a comfortable thing for a lot of people. Like a lot of people would be like, oh God, it feels oppressive, or it feels, why are we getting so serious so quickly? I want to whatever, but I like that, and I like intensity, and I like commitment, and I've got all that Scorpio, Pluto, Venus, whatever in my chart.
So what we're saying is that it satisfied your moon's urges,
right? My moon's urges. And
because your moon's in...
my moon's in Virgo. His is in Cancer, but my Saturn is in Cancer, and it's just like exactly conjunct his moon. And he's got like a couple of things exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah. He's got some outer planets. He's got Mercury, or not Mercury. He's got Uranus and Pluto in Virgo. So they're like basically conjunct my moon in Virgo. So a lot of people would probably feel like, like I feel so exposed and seen, but for me, that's awesome. It's like, let's get serious right away. And like,
I do.
Screw all this fluffy, like,
we will talk about
it. Play the field, it's, if you're like my soulmate, I want to know right away so we don't waste any time. And that's how it worked out. But for a lot of people who, don't have like Venus conjunct Pluto and Uranus, like I have, that kind of level of intensity would be like, oh my God, this person is insane. Like, get me out of here.
Yes.
Or why do I, feel like everything is life or death? This is terrifying.
Yes.
And so what we're saying is your mileage with any of these aspects will vary depending on your chart. And it's just really important to know your own chart before looking at.
That is know thyself. Hey, what that's
exactly.
And what we're saying is that whatever sign your moon is in your natal chart, whatever sign that is very important in your life and in relationships with people.
Yeah. And starting with your family, of course.
Yes.
Because the moon tells you about your relationship with your mother. Right. And your childhood and how you felt comforted or not comforted or safe or not safe as a child.
Yes.
And those things will obviously carry over into your adult relationships. They can't help that.
Yes.
So if you have quote unquote daddy issues or whatever, that has a lot to do with your moon probably.
Yes, yes.
And you will be looking for something that is either reminding you of those childhood energies or exactly the opposite of those childhood energies. But make no mistake, it will play out somehow.
Yeah.
When you find love in the future.
Absolutely.
Whoever.
I think you're so right. It's the moon is not the first thing one would normally think about finding love, but it's a core energy within your chart.
Yeah.
Because we have to step away from the sun, which is your ego and all that, to what are your knee-jerk reaction behaviors, and can they mesh with this person?
Right.
And they will if they've got things in the same sign as your moon.
Yeah. And your deep emotional needs too. Yeah. Because it's like the Venus is very, it's all well and good to know what you're attracting or to know what you are attracted to and what you're swiping, whatever it is, on. But the moon is definitely there for the long haul. So it's really important to know if something has staying power, if that moon is going to be comfortable with the other person, or if they're going to just make you feel unsafe or alienated or not.
So
safe.
Even another person's sun in the same sign as your moon is going to be a good connection.
Huge.
Right. So you would look at for those who are trying to follow along here, you would look at your moon sign and say, well, people with that sun sign, these are my people. Yeah. And even planets, even people with planets in that sign that your moon is. Yeah. You're going to feel at home with them. Yeah. And that helps just on a basic level.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. And it really also, this is another thing about conjunctions and oppositions and squares, those friction causing, less so with obviously the trines and sextiles, because those are what makes something smooth and harmonious. But if you have conjunctions, oppositions, or squares to your moon in your own chart, that is really important to know, because those are the things that can be triggered when you're in a relationship. And if you see that, you're always being, you're always getting defensive with someone and you don't really know why. Maybe it's because they've got something that squares or triggers that natural square that you already have in your chart.
Yes.
I personally have no aspects to my moon except for my sun moon conjunction. Okay. So it's a little bit easier there. I feel, I don't, maybe it's why I don't feel unsafe around a lot of people. I feel pretty comfortable around lots of different types of people. Right. And when I've talked to, a lot of my friends, they're always talking about like, oh, the red flags of this or that. And I'm like, maybe I haven't, been on the dating apps. That's true. But it's funny how many people talk about like these danger signs of like, oh, someone's going to trick you. Someone's going to scam you. Someone's going to betray you.
Right. We don't do that.
I personally I don't have that paranoia or that natural like fear of for my safety, but that could be because my moon is pretty comfortable. I mean, it's not in like
In Virgo, right?
It's in Virgo. It's not like the best sign for the moon, but it's also, it's not a vulnerable moon, is what I'm saying. It's pretty, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's not the most warm and cuddly, fuzzy moon either. I'm not, cooking chicken soup for anyone, really,
No.
I mean, if my partner tells me he's sick, I'm like, cool, you're sleeping on the couch and here's a neocitrin, don't kiss me for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We have an agreement. But yeah,
it's crazy because just having a look at your chart now, you've got your moon at the same position as we did this chart comparison between ourselves.
Yeah.
And I've got Venus and Mars at that same position. And we just always clicked when we met that first day.
Yeah.
And, it's, I feel comfortable with you. I don't feel.
There you go. I mean, your house, I'm in my stocking feet right now. It's,
say no more.
Right.
Yeah. And by the same token, my moon is in Scorpio, as we know.
Yeah.
And this is also connecting to your chart in that way.
Yes,
and,
because my ascendant is in Scorpio, and also my mother's moon is in Scorpio, so I'm very comfortable with a Scorpio moon.
And again, not the best placement for the moon.
Yeah, some people might be like, "Oh, Scorpio moon," but I'm like, "Yeah, cool, I love it."
yeah, it's there. It will come to bite you eventually, but. Knowing yourself, I think, is the trick here for our listeners to make sure, know which sign your moon is in and realize that any person who's got the sun or major planets or any planets particularly will trigger or connect with or work together with or feel comfortable with that moon sign.
And this, like with anything that we talk about when it comes to relationships in astrology and really with any kind of personality delineations, we are not here to say, don't date this person. We're not here to say like, oh, that's a bad combination. We would never, ever say that. But what we will say is if you look at your chart, you will understand why certain things trigger you or why certain things are uncomfortable for you. It's good to know that because then at least you know why you are constantly feeling a certain way with certain people or even within yourself.
Yes.
And that makes it easier to know what you are willing to work harder for and what you are not. It's like, okay, well, I like to feel uncomfortable in this way or that way. I like to challenge myself in this way or that way, or I don't, or maybe I don't want to ever become, be around a person who makes me feel this way. And that's really good to know and important to know before you get into a relationship.
Yeah. Super interesting. Yeah. So that's a good, so that's our number one suggestion is know your moon.
Know your moon. Yeah. So we're just moving outwards from the...
Yes.
I love it. Yeah.
So then the next planet we would look at regarding looking for love would be...
Is it Venus? I mean, I think Mercury is important too, but we can come back to Mercury.
We'll come back to Mercury.
Yeah.
I think Venus is the number one.
Yeah.
The planet of love.
It is. Yeah. The goddess of love.
The goddess of love. It's where you find love and it's what you attract.
Yep.
And again, we're talking about your natal Venus.
Yep.
What sign is it in?
Yes. What house is it in? What sign is it in? What aspects does it make? All of those.
Yes.
Things. Very important.
Yes.
Yeah.
How well placed is your Venus? Arwynne's got a super duper well placed Venus in its own sign of Libra.
Yes.
Good heavens.
Yes. My Venus is I have no complaints about my Venus.
You heard it first here.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. Venus and Libra. Can't complain.
So you are attracting a partner, loving, something that's equally balanced.
Yeah.
It's not a master-slave arrangement at all.
It's a lovely partnership where people say, "Oh my gosh, you guys are such a lovely couple."
Yes.
And they're always asking, "How do you do it?" Which is something that Venus in Libra strives for, I think. Something,
That really is quite, how do you do it? I mean, 28 years or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but he's a Libra. No,
he's got Libra rising.
There you go.
Scorpio with Libra rising.
And what degree is his ascendant then? Sorry to put you on the spot like that, but it's obviously connecting to some of your Libra planets there in some way, perhaps.
Indeed, yes.
The point is that he has the Libra energy in his chart through the ascendant.
Yeah,
and it's connecting to this Venus.
Exactly. I mean, it's 21. Libra ascendant and
it's conjecting to the Uranus now, but anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But I've also got, Pluto and Venus and within 10 degrees. So
yes. And didn't we work out where we did your dispository that Venus has got its own little it's one of your dominant planets
exactly
in your chart
Mercury
anyway.
and Venus are my two
Yes.
dispositors. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
my Virgo and my Libra kind of like head to head.
Oh, that's you in a nutshell,
Right.
isn't it?
Yeah. Communications, but also pink hair and beauty.
Yes. And and well groomed and
I do my best.
pulled together and whatnot. But that's also what you're looking for in your relationship. You want a balanced relationship. You don't want,
A troll under the bridge who I can't take anywhere. No, I don't want that. No, we want someone who everyone's like, oh, you guys are so cute together.
Yes. Where did you find this one? Yes.
Like, oh, you guys are like teenagers. Why are you always kissing? You've been
You're
together so long.
lovey-dovey and public displays of affection.
Literally, someone asked me that yesterday. Gosh.
Yeah. So what we're saying is whatever sign your Venus happens to be in,
Yes.
that's what you're attracting.
Yes.
And what you find attractive.
Yes.
And it's the nature of that sign. So you need to understand, what does the sign mean that your Venus is in?
What does your Venus want? And what is your Venus projecting about you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
Well, yours is definitely projecting the Libra, isn't it? You're always well groomed and pulled together and makeup. Arwynne's got it together.
Yeah.
But and I think it's interesting that but because Venus is the planet of love, so we definitely want to know about it.
For sure.
Now, if you see Venus in a man's chart, it shows the type of woman he's looking for.
Right, exactly.
So when you're looking at his chart, wherever his Venus is, that's what he's looking for.
And my partner's Venus is in Virgo, of course.
Really?
Yes.
Well, there you go. I say no more.
Actually,
1 to 3.
Where's his Venus? It is 8. Yeah, so of course it's conjunct
your sun and your moon.
And very close to my Mercury. Yeah.
So this is it. So in a man's chart, his Venus placement and his moon placement shows what he's looking for in a woman.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And by the same token, in a woman's chart, Mars, which we're going to get to in a minute, and the sun show the type of guy she's looking for.
Right. And obviously, genders, et cetera, et cetera. This is, when we say man, woman, we
have
need
to say that.
Whomever you're looking for. In your chart, it is whomever you're looking to attract or whoever you're attracted to. This is fine.
There is a subtlety there because technically, let's just get to it astrologically. If you have ovaries, it's Venus.
Yeah.
And if you have testicles, it's Mars. But if you have testicles and you're searching for more testicles, you want to look at Mars. So let's be quite. It's why you're laughing.
I love that you just said that.
No, that word, the T word.
Testicles, like twice in one sentence.
I know. By the same token,
you heard it here first. If you have testicles and you're looking for testicles,
look for Mars. But if you have ovaries and you're looking for ovaries, look for Venus.
I don't know that anyone has ever put it that way on a dating app.
Really?
Looking for ovaries. But you get what we mean.
There's a subtlety because I know that it's very blended and very fluid these days. But 100%. That astrologically, that's the core principles of the Mars-Venus.
Right. And I mean, interestingly, astrology has been pretty gender fluid, even though it's very dualistic, but it has been very gender fluid all along because anyone's chart can be very Venusian, aka feminine in quotes, or very martial and masculine, regardless of their actual gender. So
exactly,
astrology has been like way more progressive than even humanity.
Well, we all have. It's the yin yang. We all have.
Yes, exactly. It is always a spectrum within every single chart.
Yes, because we all have Mars and Venus.
Yeah. I mean, my chart is extremely feminine, I would say. And it just happens to be like Venus is incredibly well placed and I've got lots of Virgo and,
even Mars is in Taurus.
Even Mars is in Taurus. Exactly. Like there was no way I was going to be a boy. And my mother even jokes so that she had dreams about me before I was born. And she told my father, like, no, we don't even need to make a boy name because she's not going to be a boy. I think they came up with like a name that, okay, sure. But I wasn't going to be a boy. There's like no way.
You're lucky to say that. Yeah.
I am lucky. Exactly. But I can very well imagine I could have been, but I still would have been me. And then I would have had to transition and go through all this expense and surgery. And that would have, been an ordeal that I'm just fortunate that I didn't have to go through. But I have so much sympathy and empathy for that because I can very well imagine that I just could have been born in a body that didn't match this. Like I would have been me still.
Exactly. Because let's face it, a pair of twins born on the same day, one boy, one girl, they both have the same chart, basically.
Right.
And it's what you do with it, right? It's what you have inside you already, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So we've talked a ton about my Venus placement. How about you?
Virgo, Venus and Virgo.
Love it.
I mean, so conjoined your
This podcast
moon.
was brought to you by Libra and Virgo.
Exactly. This is why we
Scorpio.
just get each other, right? And honestly, we're the most unlikely, But anyway, here we are.
Yeah.
And it's definitely Virgo, and which is in its fall. It's not a good placement because I can pick on my partner. I tell you, once I said, you need a haircut, you can't wear those socks, and I will. It just keeps going.
It's like we could leave the house now, but we're not gonna if you're wearing those socks.
I don't even. There's no question. Go and change the socks, or just give them to me, and I'll throw them away now, and wear the ones I bought you last week. But no. So with Venus in Virgo, I'm very particular about clean shoes on my partner. The hair's got to be right, and it's got to be it's got to be clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be necessarily expensive or particularly stylish, but it's got to be clean. And there are certain things, wear a belt with those pants. I mean, what are you,
Yeah.
No sweatpants. No.
Yeah.
What are you? No. So I'm
amazing.
very fussy about things like that. But, and it can be critical.
Oh, for sure.
It can be critical. And really, but.
And this is not because you're a woman and this is a traditionally female thing. My partner also has Venus and Virgo. And
does he?
Oh, he will also, he's one of the people who you can actually ask, do these pants look, and I won't say fat because it may be a trigger word, but I will say something like, are these flattering? And he'll be like, no, not really.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
don't wear those.
Oh, I'm afraid.
Or, for a while, in the mid 2000s, I was wearing those empire waists. I thought it was so great because you don't have to suck in your, whatever. It's just it's very easy. And he was like, those, why are you wearing things that make you look pregnant? You don't need to wear something that's more form fitting. I hate that style on you. And so I took the note, and it's good to have that kind of feedback when it's true. It's like a style, and you're like, oh, this is easy. But it's no.
I know.
Venus and Virgo will tell you if it's not working. It's no.
No, absolutely. I mean, once my husband, he decided to give himself a buzz cut now because it was hot. And I came home and I said, what the hell do you think you're doing? Do not do that ever again.
To be fair, they lived in South Africa.
Ever again. I said, go to that Italian hairdresser, and I don't want to hear it. Just pay the money and get a proper haircut.
Yeah.
So after that, because he was a bit difficult, he then grew a ponytail just to say, well, I'm not going to cut my hair again. I said, okay, you do that. But it just, no.
Yeah. Oh, no. The protest facial hair. That's the worst. Guys can do that.
And then we got the I'm not keen for mustaches.
No, me either.
No. And it was just really, and he had a beard one winter, and it went on. And then I have a couple of gay friends, and he dropped me off one day, and he said to me, oh, I see David shaved his beard. I said, did he? I went in and I said, oh, I see you've shaved. I said, so-and-so said you shaved your beard. He said, yeah, that was last week. Didn't you know?
No. Oh my God. Thank God for the gay friends. Jeez.
I know.
Wow.
So anyway, but very, very fussy about
yeah.
It's true. You've got to be clean. I just can't 100%. Be dealing with it. Even if you're working in the garden, come in, have a shower, this kind of thing. I can't be doing it. No.
Yeah, crazy.
But Venus in Virgo is picky, and I don't know what that says about me, but I can be picky.
Yeah.
But in a lot of ways, that's just Venus,
Oh, totally. Yeah. And I mean, obviously, Venus can be in any sign, and we're not going to go through every single Venus sign.
No, we're not going through any more, actually, are we?
Probably not. But one thing we can say is, and this is very much. It's been a while since we mentioned Saint Stephen Arroyo. Arroyo is one of our absolute favorite authors. And he has written a bunch of the absolute OG gems of basic astrology. So if you were just learning, even though they're old books, I would absolutely highly recommend looking at pretty much any of the books that he wrote and published in
which one in particular?
The 80s. But this one is one of his most recent books, and it's called Person to Person Astrology. Energy factors in love, sex, and compatibility.
We'll put a link below.
We will. And this is because it is not only a basic kind of cookbook of all your Venus signs, all your Mars signs, but also he did a decade of research with people with all these different placements, and has quotes interspersed throughout the book of people, and he organizes it by element. So here are all the fire signs. Here's Mars in fire. And then here's Mars in Aries, here's Mars in Sagittarius, and Mars in Leo, going through what makes them different, what makes them, what attracts them, what makes them sexy, what makes them, difficult in the relationship. And all of these things are so important to understand about yourself. He doesn't get into compatibility so much, but what he does get into is just the incredible importance of understanding the elemental compatibility. So if you have a fiery Mars and an earthy Venus, for example, and you are going after someone who has, let's say, Mars in Gemini and Venus in Pisces, that's going to be a real challenge. And I'm not saying it's not going to work. He would never say that either, but you have to be able to understand each other's love language, to throw out another kind of buzzword. And this is what we're talking about here, is your Mars and your Venus placements, especially elementally, are so important to understand how they mesh and how they don't mesh, and how they might, clash with each other. Right. And understanding those elemental differences is really, fundamental.
Yes.
So, obviously, let's say like water signs, let's say Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. They're very, very different, but yet there is a similarity.
Yes.
So if you have Venus in a water sign, emotional, issues are going to be super important. It's going to be critically important that you be with someone who can get deep in emotions with you. And if you don't sense emotional depth, if you're going after someone who has Venus in Gemini, and you want to have long, deep conversations and be like, what are you thinking? And, tell me about your childhood. And they're just like, let's just go have fun. What are you talking about? Why does everything have to be, why are you interrogating me? That kind of thing.
Yes. Stuff going to last.
That's going to be hard. Yeah. I won't say it couldn't work, but that's a really fundamental difference that you want to know and understand about yourself before you get into a relationship.
Yeah. It's basic stuff. It really is. And knowing this, so knowing that you've got, Venus in an air sign and Mars in an earth sign.
Yeah.
Right there, understand all your placements so that you can appreciate what you're looking for, not just what, I don't know, Cosmopolitan magazine says you should be looking for.
Oh, Bedside Astrologer.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Shout out to my childhood. I loved that. Oh, every year when that came out, I was like, perforate it out, like read every single one and memorize them.
Yeah. Great.
But anyway, but yeah, it's really, even when you first meet someone, obviously you're not going to like necessarily, but you might, find out exactly when they're born and do their birth chart before you've even gone on a first date. But you could. But if you don't, at least you know yourself and you know what you're looking for and what might be the pitfalls of someone who reacts or behaves in a certain way, and how that might trigger really important things about yourself that you have to, obviously there are certain things that are deal breakers, and there are certain things that you really should, obviously everyone should be willing to compromise on, but those will be different, but they'll be different for everyone, right? I'm willing to compromise on a ton of things, but then obviously certain things, 100% no. And they'll be different for you. And
this is it. This is it. Yeah.
Yeah. And knowing what those things are is critical.
Yeah. It's really about, So that was Venus, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, totally.
So our next planet that we would really consider would be Mars. Mars is the chase.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the planet that gets you, off the couch to go and find a mate. Go and leave the cave with your club and go and find somebody and drag them back to the cave. But what you do with them then, that's the question. But it's the chase. It's I need to go out and find the urge to find a mate.
Yeah.
It's a core human.
Right.
No matter how sophisticated we are, it's a core human thing to find a partner, find a mate.
Totally. Yeah. And I guess most people do that on apps these days.
Do they? I don't know.
Statistically speaking,
probably.
According to some Instagram meme I saw, it is like upwards of 90% of the couples who meet. But that's probably just Instagram telling me that.
I know.
How would they know? They didn't ask me. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas 100 years ago, they say you'd meet your partner, at the church. But you probably did.
Family introduced you, and
that still works. It still works.
100%. Meet at work, which is not really, as appropriate, but it still happens. And where else are you going to meet someone?
I've always been the belief that you'll meet the guy at the lineup at the bank.
Yeah.
You don't need to. Well, this is my view. You don't need to go on dating apps. Your fate and your life, you will meet them when you're ready.
Yeah.
Because it's astrology that's going to bring it forward.
Or at a party, or at a dog park, or at
in the elevator.
Shop. Exactly.
At the bank.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
The local pub.
That means they've got money.
Yeah. Well.
At a restaurant, whatever it is, where you go about your business, where you are, you're going to be attracting somebody.
Yeah. And you have to be open to actually, when you're meeting someone, obviously. But yeah, I mean, the dating apps can only go so far, and you match up perfectly and everything makes sense. And then you get into a relationship and it's like, oh, well, we're super compatible, but
I do.
Yeah, it's compatible on paper. The algorithm matched you, but that doesn't mean
exactly.
We
need astrology to match you. So with Mars, we don't want to know what the Mars sign is, because that's going to show how you prepare for your chase.
Right. If you chase, or if you just wait to be chased.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are you actually looking for?
Yeah.
What conquest do you want to make?
Right. So let's say, okay, so I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say, I would think maybe 75 to 95% of our audience is either female or as you were saying about the testicles earlier. So I shout out to all of our straight male listeners. I know you are out there, but you are in the minority. Let's be real. So Mars is the kind of man you're looking for.
If you're a woman, Mars is the kind of man
or a gay man, or a bisexual man, or whatever. Yeah. So Mars is the kind of guy you want. And
so in your case, you got it in Taurus. You want stability, consistency. You want someone who comes home at night.
Is a good cook.
What do we know? Is a good cook.
Has taste in clothes.
He could dress himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a good cook. Let's go. Let's say that a couple of times, because it makes a difference. Yeah.
Yes, and
reliable. And he's there. He's there.
Which is certainly not to say boring, because I said he is a Scorpio. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would not be with a Scorpio who had, I don't know.
Says I'm coming home, and then he doesn't come home because something corrupt.
Because not that kind of Scorpio, who maybe had all of these other things in, like Aries or something, as opposed to Taurus, which is
what are we looking for? You're looking for someone who's perhaps stable, who can stabilize you, and make you feel grounded,
right? Exactly. And for a while, he was working from home or between contracts, and had some family issues, and I was the one going out and working and being the breadwinner, and that's 100% okay with me, because all I want is to know that he's there.
Yes.
That's the most important thing for me, is just having that rock, that core, that thing that I'm circling around, in orbit around.
He's there. He's there.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah. And for some people, that's not the thing they want. They want the CEO or the super successful entrepreneur. I cringe thinking about dating a CEO. That would be awful. I would hate that.
I know.
What that, or even a lot. I don't know. People are attracted to the guy who posts all the gym photos. We're both cringing. It's okay. We're not throwing we're not shade on anyone who's into that. But yeah, that's just not the kind of guy. Yikes. I mean, be fit, be in shape, obviously. But if you're
right there,
be fit, be in shape. But don't post pictures of your abs. Oh my God, gross. Come on. What are you doing?
And would you say that your chasing down attitude, I mean, I don't know where you met him, but clearly it was just solid, one step to the next.
Just at a party, literally the day I had broken up with my ex.
There you go.
The very day. It's here's this other guy. What? No, I'm not ready, but I am. Yeah.
Well, there you are. You see, reliable, solid, dependable. There he is. And that's what you're looking for.
Yeah. And we were pretty much inseparable a month later. Yeah.
There you go. Excellent. Yeah. So Mars is showing what you're really looking for. If you're a woman, combined with the sun,
Yes.
the type of guy you're looking for. So you're looking for someone who can cook and someone who's going to be at home when you get there.
Yeah.
Someone who's there.
Yeah.
Right. And then, of course, because we know the sun is in Virgo, it's the same thing. It's earth, dependable, giving you a sense of stability in this crazy world where you want to find your anchor to come home to. And that's what this earth thing is showing there, right?
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, that sun, Earth and Mars Earth combination. It's very interesting. Very interesting.
For sure.
Yeah.
And for everyone, it'll be something different. Obviously, if you're a Pisces and you've got Mars in, I don't know, Sagittarius.
Yes.
What about that?
Yes.
Let's say for me, it's easy because my Mars and Sun are in Earth signs. But for someone who has those in a conflicting element, that could be that can be interesting. That's the kind of person maybe who can't figure out what they want, or they want one thing and then, once they get it, they don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing that obviously all these planets are not going to be in harmonious signs in your own chart.
I've got it. I've got Mars is in Virgo and the Sun is in Leo. So if that's saying what the sort of guy I'm looking for, I want someone who's independent.
Right.
But at the same time, someone who's at home when I get there.
Yeah.
And,
right.
Virgo, you're there, you're reliable. And it's earth again. It's solidly and someone to talk to. Yeah.
Yeah. Who's independent and thoughtful and but won't overshadow you.
No chance.
Yeah, right.
But who can take it on the chin? You know what I mean? It's
totally,
because I do know as a Leo, as I told you, I think when I was younger, I used to tell people I was a Pisces because men wouldn't date Leos because you're just so overbearing and loud and opinionated, and it was just they say no, we don't like Leo. So I said, oh no, I'm a Pisces. I know, right? But eventually you grow into your own skin and say, well,
for sure.
So be it. But of course, bring on the Sagittarians, bring on the Aries. Where are you? That's my people.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So again, it's the elemental search that
it is.
Because I'm a Leo, the Aries guys and Sagittarian guys and Leo guys, you easily talk to them and they're loud and this and that, and that's fine. And we're living our life.
Yeah. Yeah.
In full color.
Yeah. But then there has to be that stable streak too, that thing where they actually want a partnership where you can,
where the Mars is and the Virgo, you see with the Venus, so the shooter better be clean, otherwise I won't even talk to them.
Yeah,
it's just so fascinating.
Yeah,
I know.
So that's an interesting thing too. So just between the two of us, who we have so many kind of things in common.
Yes,
but then when you get into the deep thing of like our Mars, Venus, and the Sun, and for me, that elemental combination makes it so much easier kind of to find a partner, because what I want is
double earth.
Yeah, it's harmonious within itself. And for you, there's much more complicated stew of desires and motivations that would make for a successful relationship.
Yes.
Interesting.
So it's
Yeah.
So what we're saying is that look at your natal chart, look at your Mars sign, and that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And how you will chase them down.
That's really interesting too.
Or you imagine they got a stick and you're running through the jungle and you're chasing them down.
I totally picture
how far will you go? That's your Mars sign. Whereas the other guy's just throwing a rock from the cave door. You know what I mean?
The sniper, just like, the arrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or an arrow. Exactly.
Yeah. Cupid.
And where's the other guy? He's digging a big cave and putting a net over it and a big hole and waiting for the bison to come by or something.
Wow.
And
super stealth, laying a trap.
Yeah. So it depends what sign your Mars is in. So, as a woman, look at that, understand what it means and know the signs' meanings well. Yeah.
Yeah. And in long-term relationships, which will come out, this is what we talked about with the moon. That's where that comes more to bear, because the chase is all about Mars. Venus is all about what you want and what you attract and what you're attracted to. But we also, in some ways, will settle for something that's not the perfect thing on paper. Very few of us will find exactly like, the list of like all the things we want in the perfect person that we wrote when we were 13.
Yes.
That's unlikely.
Tall, dark and handsome it was. Right? And a doctor.
Yeah. He's some kind of prince with a castle somewhere, but also
On a horse.
was tons of time for me and will never be gone for like more than 8 hours at a time. So all of those things are about the chase and the seeking and the looking for love. But then what we were talking about earlier in the podcast, the moon really comes in the long-term relationship, and Saturn and all the planets, obviously. But
if you're looking for love, understand what you're looking for. This episode is brought to you by New Moon Wishing, a self-care guidebook for wishful thinkers. Please see the link in the show notes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just turn our attention then to maybe an often misused or misunderstood planet with relationships, which is Mercury.
Yeah.
So Mercury is about your communication style, what you think about and what you talk about.
Yeah.
And what you argue about.
Right. I mean, that's super important in relationships. Absolutely.
How you communicate.
Yeah. You know? How you communicate, how you think, and how you, as you said, argue. It's not about what gets you angry, because that's Mars.
Yes.
But it's, for sure, how you argue, how you plead your case, or fail to in some cases.
Or do you have those silences for a week at a time?
Oh, God. Can you imagine? I don't know. Maybe you can. I'm absolutely.
Oh, yes.
I have no willpower to be a silent treatment kind of gal. I never have been.
So where's your Mercury then?
Virgo.
Chatty, so it's going to talk.
It's going to just.
Let's talk. Do you say, let's talk about it?
Luckily, I haven't had to as much, because my partner is a Scorpio, and intense emotional connection is incredibly important. But I think I've told this story before, and if you can fast forward if you've heard it before.
No, they haven't heard it. If you're first listening to this is your first episode.
Listen. But one of the very first intense arguments that we ever had, like probably the most kind of critical point of a fight that we had, and this is when I still actually had my own apartment. So we'd been together for like 4 to 6 months at this time, maybe 6 months. I think we moved in around the 6-7 month mark, but it was when I still had a place to, run away, slam the door and run away, and, walk the 10 blocks or whatever it was to my apartment, and which I was basically never at, except for get clothes. But I got all angry, and I stormed out, and I, slammed the door, and I stood in the hallway waiting for him to come out, because I was sure he would come out after me. That's what you do, right? And I stood there, and I pushed the elevator button, and it came, and I was like, he's not here. And I let the elevator go back down. He's on the 11th floor or whatever. And I just stood there, and I was like, this sucks. What am I going to do? I don't want to leave, because then how will that progress? Like, if I leave, I'm not going to call him. I don't want this to be over. Like, what's, it was at that point, right? And,
delicate. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just stood there, and then I finally went, and I just stood in front of the door and I just waited. And I don't remember how it happened, but I honestly, and this is the honest truth, I don't remember if I eventually knocked on the door or if he eventually opened the door. I don't remember, because it's probably important. But in the grand scheme of things, 27 years later, it doesn't matter, because eventually the door opened, and we had this huge conversation about, if you're going to leave every time we have a fight, is that how you're going to be? And I was like, well, no, that's not how I am at all. I don't feel like that's me, And he said, are we going to just make this work? Because relationships are hard work. And then he talked about his parents and how, and he's adopted, but his parents who raised him were like this wonderful couple, and they made it work. And he said, we have to decide that this is a relationship when we're in it together, and then you don't leave, we just work on it. So we have, and we did. But
you've never stormed out again since.
And I never stormed out again, and neither has he. But I mean, I'm not saying this is not my relationship advice. It's not going to work for everyone, but but in every relationship, there will be a moment or many moments where you have to sort of rethink what are you doing? What are you doing? Why am I storming out? Why have I done this? Why am I standing in the hallway like an idiot who has just like a child thrown a hissy fit, and then I expect some guy to chase me, and I'm a grown ass woman, and
Interesting.
And this grown-ass man is not going to chase me. He's going to,
No.
we're going to sit here and make it work.
So you talked it through. That's what you're saying.
We talked it through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that argument didn't have to happen again because, no, now we're in this boat together.
Right.
And that's what we're doing. We,
Yes, but you have to get to talk it through. You have to spell it out sometimes.
For sure.
This is who we are. We're a couple now.
Yeah.
And this is how we behave.
Right. And everyone has these things that they bring from their childhood.
Yes.
From their parents' relationship, how they saw their mother and father or whoever their parents were, how they saw those people argue, how they were treated as a child, how they were treated when they got mad, how they were treated when they were vulnerable, when they were crying, when they were upset and inconsolable. And did someone comfort them? Did someone chase after them and say, don't close the door, we need to talk this through? Or did they just let them, they'll cool off, let them blow off steam, And was that good for you? Or was that abandonment? And we all come to adulthood with all of this baggage. Yeah. And then we come into a relationship where we've just swiped right or left or whichever one it is. And we expect someone to just perfectly match whatever that is. This huge, complicated stew of emotions and baggage and history and needs and wants and planets. And I mean, if you happen to find someone who matches all of those things,
it's a miracle.
It's a miracle.
Yeah,
it is. And you have to be prepared to compromise. And if you are the kind of person who wants to hash things through and talk it all out and get all out on the table, and you're with someone who everything else is perfect, but they're just quiet and they don't want to. And maybe maybe their parents were too invasive and they didn't have their own room as a child or whatever it is. Yes. And they feel attacked when you do this. Mm-hmm. You have to be prepared to say, okay, maybe this can wait until tomorrow, or I don't know. Just there's a weird example. Anything like that, where you're going to come up against something where your expectations or your needs are going to not match with their needs, and it just if you're in it together, you have to somehow
talk about it.
Have to compromise.
And this is the Mercury. This is how you talk about it, and you make your pact with each other that this is who we are,
right? And
we're going to face the world together or not at all.
Precisely.
But it needs discussing.
Yeah.
Because as you say, we're all coming from different areas about how things should be.
And you can't have any idea. You'll know about their personality, what they do in the gym, their hobbies, what they like to do with their movies, but you won't know how their parents treated each other behind closed doors. Mm-hmm. You won't know if they saw their parents fighting or kissing each other and little, you won't know that. And eventually you'll come to know those things. And that has shaped how they think of relationships. That has shaped whether they think even a long-term relationship is possible, whether true love exists or if it's all just algorithm. Exactly.
Wow. It's true. Yeah. This ability to communicate, or not necessarily have to say everything, but to get your point across so that you're both talking from the same script, if you will, in the partnership.
Right.
Regardless of what else is going on in life. If you know and that comes through Mercury, and not everybody can get the words out.
No, some people's Mercury is very well placed and some are much less so. Yeah. A lot of people have very hard time communicating at all, and especially in relationships, and communicating about emotional issues is very hard for even someone who is a good communicator.
Mm-hmm. Like yourself,
like myself.
Mercury in Venus. Mercury in Virgo.
Yeah.
You're going to say what you want, what you need to say.
Yeah, but even me, I'm not going to say, I've got very little in water. As you see, I've got the ascendant and I've got Saturn. I'm not going to say, oh, you hurt my feelings. That's never going to be something I say. I'll say it in a different way and you'll eventually figure it out. Yes. But if you're emotionally intelligent, and that's probably why I, tend to go towards people who have, I don't know why, so many people I know have moon in Cancer. But I guess I just have this need to not actually say emotional things like that. And it's just really good to know people who are emotionally intelligent and will figure it out. Yeah. So that's something I've learned about myself. But it's important, even in friendships or family relationships, to know those things about yourself, because you can't always speak up for yourself. We ideally would love to be able to just spill out, here's everything about me. Yeah. Shake it or leave it. Yeah. But that's not possible.
Well, even a text we had earlier today was not quite clear, and you had to spell things out because I missed the clue.
Yes, exactly.
But give it straight, because otherwise
Yeah.
the message gets garbled and you don't get it. The person at the other end doesn't quite know, what did you say?
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, are they brushing me off? I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, it becomes even more difficult because, I mean, most relationships now happen a lot over text.
I know, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank goodness for emojis. I mean, they help.
Well, yes.
You know?
I've got about 3 I use now. Oh, that's about as far as I've got with emojis. But
it's important. It's a facial expression, you know. Some people are like, oh, that's such a millennial thing or Gen Z thing. But yeah. If you don't have a face, you know,
yes,
just throw in whatever that face is. I really love the what is it? The eye roll emoji. That's one of my favorites. Like,
okay.
You know,
yes,
or the grimace emoji. That's a good one. Like,
yes, yeah. No, I just use the smiley face and the heart. That's about my limit at this stage. And the glass of red wine. That's about all the emojis I'm using. Because what am I saying? I'm happy about this. I love that. And let's have a drink. What am I saying?
I love that. That's awesome. That's wonderful.
Because beyond that, but you see, Mercury in Leo.
It's kind of eat, pray, love, but it's actually love, smiley face. Yeah.
That is true. Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, it's interesting. So what we're saying is that look at your natal chart, look at the sign that your Mercury is in, understand your communication style,
yes,
and then know how you put things out, and realize that maybe people don't get what you've said, or maybe you have to spell things out.
Oh, exactly. I'm so glad you said that, because it is so important to, once you know that maybe this is a stumbling block for you, or like maybe sometimes people don't understand me when I think I'm being clear, like at least then you can kind of go, okay, I need to be extra clear, especially when it's important.
Because when I went back and read the text, I realized when I read it, I thought, oh, I see, she said it there, but I didn't get it. And I thought, well, how stupid am I? But it was just, spell it out. Yeah.
Awesome.
Spell it out. It's, yeah. And, it's just where is your Mercury? How are you going to communicate? How are you going to text, talk on the phone, this and that?
Totally.
It's all important. Are you going to put little notes in the lunchbox and things like that? Yeah. Me, I'm not doing that. I'm thinking, I'm thinking maybe I should do that,
and half our audience is thinking, what's a lunchbox? But
well, yeah. And or should I throw more emojis in, or
yeah, totally.
So
I see what you mean exactly.
But I've got to the stage with one of my daughters where I just put the emoji. I don't even bother with the words anymore. And then
I've had
she's got the message.
Honestly, I've had entire conversations with my mother where we're just going back and forth with emojis or GIFs. Yeah, and it's not a girl thing either, because I've seen my partner and his best friend. They do the same thing, and their animated GIFs. Oh, it's a sight. Well, I've gone through some of their chat. I'm not looking at his phone without permission. He's actually showed me. He's been like, look at this. This is hilarious. And I'll go back. It's like 2 days worth. And it's just GIF. And it's hilarious.
No. You see, now I've never once I wouldn't know where to find a GIF. I don't do GIF.
Oh, it's so funny. Yeah.
But I've finally got onto, my one daughter wants to know when I've got home, because if I go out at night, she's concerned about little old mom. Aww. And she says, let me know when you get home, Mom. What if I go out somewhere or do something? So, but now I'm sending the little house emoji, which is home.
Oh my God.
And I just send the emoji, and that's all she gets.
That's so cute.
Then she knows, because you can say it all in one go. But
that's so perfect.
You don't need to say, I got home.
I honestly might do that, because my friend, we go for these long walks, and then I walk home from her place, which isn't that far, but I mean, it's across,
It's far enough. This city, you've got to,
there's some dodgy areas.
There are
places. Yeah. So she's always like, tell me when you get home, and I always just say home safe, which is fine. But yeah, I'll just send the little house.
Well, I used to say home safe and sound. Then I cut it down to S and S. And then I thought, no, hang on. There's an emoji here. It's one key. And I just do the house, the home house, and I just say it, and then that's it.
Here's a wonderful Mercury question for everybody. Go look at your phone and see like that first tab of emojis, like not the ones where it's like all the faces or all the sports or whatever, but like the most commonly used ones.
The one that you use most.
Yeah, I love that. I love like your top 10 most recent emojis. Those are...
Okay, well, I've got top 3 because I haven't got 10. So yeah, it's the smiley face. I can tell you right now.
That's hilarious. I'm going to go look at what mine are just now, because we're talking about Mercury. It's important, right?
We absolutely are. So I've got the smiley face, and then I've got the heart, the yellow heart, which is...
The yellow heart, because you're a Leo.
Because I'm a Leo.
Well, this is hilarious. Because I was recently talking to my mother about the winter workout and blah,
Yes.
whatever. And then I sent her a roller skate emoji because it's going to be skating season soon. So there's a roller skate emoji, which is super important. And then the shrug emoji, which is just like, I don't know. And then the heart emoji, obviously.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. So those are my top 3. And then
wow.
After that, there's like, kiss.
No,
kiss,
I don't
kiss.
actually, but I mean.
Oh, yeah, the lip print emoji because I was sending something to my partner. And then the emoji.
You see, you use emojis.
I've
got 3 and I use them.
Yeah, I could go on, but I won't.
But
interesting.
Like
the skating
but
one.
What are we saying? Mercury in Virgo. She even knows what the emojis mean.
Library of emojis. I know how to search them. I didn't know that at first. I actually had my phone for an embarrassingly long time before I knew that you could search emojis. You don't have to just scroll through page after page of them to find the, possibly doesn't even exist one, which for a while, the roller skate one didn't exist. That was actually recently added.
You're a fountain of knowledge, Arwynne, about emojis. And that's because you've got Mercury in Virgo.
Yeah. It's like a little language. It's like
it is. And you're using it. So.
I've learned obsolete languages like HTML and Klingon in the past. Yeah. Klingon for sure. Yeah. Elvish.
Well,
yeah.
So that's what we're saying. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've been talking about looking for love with astrology. We've spoken about the moon, Venus, Mars, and Mercury, and we've given you guys some really good ideas about where to go, where to start, and what you want to be looking for in your chart.
Yeah, definitely.
Please make sure that if you're enjoying this episode that you give it a like.
Follow us if you're on Spotify or if you're Apple, whatever.
If you're on Apple Podcasts, you can give us up to a 5-star review.
Yes, please do.
And if you're listening on YouTube, we love your comments. Give us a like. It really does help the algorithm. It helps this podcast grow. Arwynne and I pour our heart into this podcast for you guys, and we love what we do. But we really want if you feel this is it's free for you to help us support this podcast, and we would appreciate that.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
So make sure you're getting our newsletter, and you can sign up at starzology.com/newsletter. Make sure you're getting Arwynne's newsletter, and you can find her at
mspink.net, MSPINK, and I send out a weekly newsletter every Saturday.
That's great, and it's a great newsletter it is too.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thanks to all our listeners. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Thanks so much for getting this far through the episode. I just want to take a moment to tell you about the 2 main options of my astrology services. So the first one is coaching. If you are an aspiring astrologer, and by that I mean someone who's perhaps a hobbyist astrologer or someone who's learning astrology or a student, or you've got a few books and you've been doing it for a while, but perhaps you need a little bit of help to bring it all together, then maybe getting some astrological coaching from me would be the answer for you. The astrology coaching I offer is a 1-hour session on Zoom, and it's tailored to answer your particular questions. For example, if you have issues with natal chart readings, we can go there. Or if you're having problems working with your forecasting, we can go there. Or even basic astrology stuff, or even getting yourself organized for your astrology business. The idea is that astrological coaching will answer your particular questions. It's tailored specifically to you and where you are in your astrological journey. And I'm happy to help you out with some guidance about how you can get going, what to focus on, and what to dismiss. So that would be the astrological coaching for people trying to learn astrology. The second astrological service I offer is consultations. So this is for someone who perhaps doesn't know anything about astrology, but they just want to have their chart read or get their chart done. Call it what you will. So once more, this is a 1-hour consultation over Zoom. I will interpret your chart, tell you about the main features, tell you about where the energy is flowing, and all the rest of what is entailed in a thorough natal chart interpretation. I can also add in some forecasting in there too, bearing in mind we only have 1 hour. So just in summary, I've got coaching for people who want to learn astrology, and I've got consultations for those who want to get an astrology reading done. I'm Alison Price from Starzology.com. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.